Welcome to Weekly Focus. Good morning. So today we will discuss about the top 10 stocks of Nifty top 50 and major indexes like Nifty, Bank Nifty, gold, silver, crude, Bitcoin, USDINR, and crude oil for the next week, how they may trade or how their possible pattern look like. So we'll begin with the gold. This is a daily chart. So in the last week, we have discussed this, like this is doing the structure that of the diamond pattern. So we will be seeing at least to the level of 1957, but that has come really quick. So now I go for hourly chart. So for here, in case of gold, we may see some correction here or some consolidation before it can go any further down or further up. So we may see some downside movement in case of gold for the 1870 or 1860 for the next week. So hopefully we may see some consolidation to downside in case of gold for the next week. So don't buy. Silver, I said earlier, like here it was doing the structure that of the expanding triangle. So it has done, and now for the downside. So we may see one down, that is for the 22 USD or something. So look for the sell setup, not to buy as of now, because the way it went upside from this level, this is the thing. So yeah, it may see one more consolidation or a slower. If it is a slower, then it is a confirmed sell for one more time before it can go any further up or further down. So in case of silver, consolidation to the lower side, you may see for the next week. Look for the sell setup, not to buy. So crude oil. The last week video we have discussed this, like at least it will go to the level of 97 or something, but it went ahead of that, that is 100 USD, and fell faster to the downside. If I see the overall pattern, it is like now in case of gold, it is like an expanding triangle. We may see these levels if it breaks the level of 89 in 1 or 2 days, because the time it has taken is more compared to the fall. So if it is like doing like this, so it may take some time to go down. But as of now, if it is crossing below the 89 USD, we may see one down to the level of 84 and 85. So look for the sell setup in case of crude oil, not to buy. USD structurally hasn't changed much. We earlier said, like here, if it is going from the channel, it may come towards 80% or something, but if it is going inside the channel, it may go and touch the high. As it went inside the channel and went upside, you can see clearly there is a inside, it went at this particular level of 74 or 75, then it may go for above this, that is exactly to the level of 76 or 76.10. If I see from the top, it may go to the 80%. So that is exactly, it is at the 80%, and it fell a little bit downside. So now you may see some consolidation or to the level of 100 also, but below this only we can look for the sell setup, or else we may see 76 once again before it can go any further down or further up for the next possible pattern. But as of now, you can look for the buy setup in case of USD INR. Now individuals, okay, Nifty, okay, exactly to the channel's bottom. That's brilliant. And from the top, this will be the second possible channel. It went exactly to the bottom. So in case of Nifty, you can see like this is a trend line channel. Exactly, it touched the level of 16,254, and after that it is gap up and consolidated. So now hopefully we may see one up before it can go any further down up to the level of let's say 17,100 or 17,200. If further it goes, then it may go towards a 17,600 and 17,800 or to the level of 17,500. But how it behaves near this channel, that is the important thing, or else it may come down one more time before it can go any further up. So here looking like a buy for 17,100 and 200, then it may consolidate, or if it breaks straight and stays there and consolidates, then it may go towards 17,400 and 17,500 for the next 1 or 2 weeks. Bank Nifty, so look for buy in case of Nifty, not to sell. So it looks a little stronger compared to the Nifty structure because it has touched the bottom, but here it is not the case. Okay, here it is like one more channel. So exactly at the channel, so we may see one buy, or like below this only we can look for the sell. Above this, that is for above 36,800 or something, we may see one up, that is up to the level of 38,000 or something we may see in case of Bank Nifty. So look for the buy setup, not to sell. So we may see 39,100 or 39,190 for the next week in case of Bank Nifty. The overall structure is still like a ABC kind of a structure, maybe like a B, C, it is a D and E, or like again we may see one more up. But if it is coming slower to the downside, then the whole structure will be considered as A and B for the upside and C for the downside. Okay, but overall structure is for buy now above this, and below this we can look for the sell. And Bitcoin, yeah, it is it's a good structure to trade actually. I mean, for the buy V-shaped structure, whenever there is a V shape, I mean a fall, sudden raise, then the structure will be going very good. I mean, for here in case of Bitcoin, look for the buy for 42,000 and 45,000. So don't look for the sell in case of Bitcoin, look for the buy. So here the structure, it may do the neutral triangle or a triangle, or 80% to the this longer zigzag like structure. Okay, there you may see the price to 44,000, that is minimum. So firstly 42,000 and then to the 44,000. So look for the buy in case of Bitcoin, not to sell, only sell below 34,000. HDFC, now individual stocks, top 10 according to their weightage. So earlier we said like 2,300 is a buying point. Now it has done that and exactly to the channels upside. So now this is the important structure for me. So we may see some consolidation before it can go any further up. So look for buy here, and above this is a buy, and below this will be a sell for one more downside. So that will hopefully touch this bottom towards 2,200. So above this you can look for the buy, below this you can look for the sell. HDFC Bank. So earlier we discussed this whole structure is a B and going to go for the C, and this has reached the level of downside and then going up. So I'm just changing the structure. This is the channel. Yeah, it's near to the bottom. Similar structure that of the Nifty. So it is like a simple A, B, C kind of a structure. If it is finished, then we may see one up. That is for the 1,500, and if further goes, it will be for a 1,542. So look for the buy setup here until and unless it closes below 1,400. Okay. Understand? So earlier said let's look for the buy setup, but it crossed the level, gap down and gap down to the downside. So again I need to change the structure channel. So in case of Hindustan Unilever, one can look for sell as of now. Like after that, you may see buy, but this overall structure is for the sell now. Look for 2120 or 2140 for the downside. ICICI Bank, its whole structure is a B again, so whatever it may go down, because you can see the structure here. See here. We may see one up, that is for at least 60% or 50%. That will be for a 780 or 790. Or a triangular structures. Both ways, it will be going to go for 779 and 800. So look for buy in case of ICICI Bank, not to sell. Sell only below 702. Infosys, similar structure. Structurally hasn't changed much. So one can look for the buy for 1840 or 1820. So look for buy, not to sell. The overall structure is for the B, and we can see how the C wave behaves. ITC, yeah, structurally hasn't changed much. One can look for the buy as soon as it crosses and gives the confirmation as per two stage. So it is like a V shape or V bottom. So once it crosses the 218 level, look for the buy. It may fill the gap and go to the 240 and 228. So look for buy, not to sell. Kotak. Structurally hasn't changed much. The whole structure is a B wave. So whenever you get a chance above 1312, look for the buy for this whole ABC kind of a structure that will be matching to this chart. Okay, look for buy, not for the sell. L&T, similar structure that are the kotak and maybe ICICI. If down also, we can get one up. Why I'm telling that? Because the whole structure is like a triangle or a flat pattern. So this is A, B, and C. Whenever this C finishes, so we may see one up. So above 18.8, so we can look for the buy for at least like this and this. So the overall structure will be like a W pattern or expanded triangular structure will main form. So look for buy above 1800 and sell below 1748 for maybe to the level of 1725 or something. Okay, look for buy, not for the sell, and buy only above 1800. Reliance. Yeah. The earlier we said like here, if it is a slower form, we may see downside, but it went from the 68% or maybe 38% retracement only. So I checked with that. Yeah, it is near 38%, and now it will go to the downside first before it can go any further up. So only buy 2320 above, or sell from the level of 2275 or 2250 for downside, maybe to the level of 2160 or even to the downside. This upside channel may match with the bottom side. So we may see Reliance to the downside, maybe to the level of 2160 or 2120. So look for sell in case of Reliance, not to buy. TCS, yeah, it's beautifully like a completed. I think this was earlier we said look for the sell. It may do 80% is the minimum because this structure is like a flat pattern. So brilliantly done. Yes, target has done, and then it is going upside. So it is now, so take some time. So after that, you may see one down before it can go any further upside. So here, in case of TCS, look for little buy, maybe to the level of 36, 35 or something. Then you may see one down, or if it breaks upside, we may see some upside movement. But as of now, you can look for the smaller buy, maybe from the level of 35 to 36, means 100 points movement or 120 points movement in case of TCS. Bajaj Finance. Yeah, earlier we said like here the structure will be B, but it is in the B wave only. But as in Nifty, it is happening. The same structure is there. I mean, from downside and it went inside. I mean, it's below that, and now it is recovering. So we may see some 61% or 80% before it can go any further up or further down. So 7500 or 1740, 7540 may possible in case of Bajaj Finance, and sell only below 6489. This is for the next week. Please do find your experts advice before making any financial decisions, because this video is only made for the educational purpose. And if you find this video useful, please just subscribe the channel and share among your friends. Thank you. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful weekend.